Hi, my name is Fairley. For my video, I'm planning to act as the superintendent of the Chillicothe School District and go and look at the new elementary building that they've put in for this year. Specifically, I want to assess if the vision for the building came to fruition in the actual building itself as it stands. And I want to see if it matches up with three focus areas that were included in the vision. One is a pointed effort to use technology and implement technology in the building without making it a crutch for students. Number two is the building a safe and secure place for students to learn and grow to their maximum and full potential. And three, what types of things were implemented in the building to make it a warm and inviting environment for students to come and feel comfortable and explore and learn at their full potential. But first, I want to give some background information on how the building came to be as it is. The vision for the Chillicothe Elementary School just put in our district actually started around 2009 with a failed bond issue. And according to Dr. Barnes, he felt like it failed because of a lack of educator input, lack of communication in the location, the design, and just a general lack of a clear vision. But he felt like that propelled them forward and helped them learn what they needed to do to help this bond issue pass recently in 2016. Through the efforts of several meetings, an admin team, an educator team, collaboration with an architect, they were able to put together a plan that they felt like would be ideal for our district in creating the elementary school that we have today. The school district relied on the architect's expertise for design and classroom placement. Built into that design was a centralized special education department, occupational therapy room, a security system which included security cameras, both interior and exterior, an intercom system, a fire alarm system, a tornado safe room, telephone system, computer network system, and secured entryways for both the K-1 and pre-K entrances. Two separate playgrounds were also involved for different age levels, each stocked with the appropriate equipment for the age level. A gymnasium was part of the design, and separate wings for each level of classes, preschool through first grade. As we get into the building, you'll see kind of how it's all put together in a pretty amazing way. One of the things that I talked about with the vision, one of the key components, was a warm, inviting, welcoming environment for students to come in and be inspired and feel like they belong in the school that they're attending. And one of the things that you notice right away when you walk into the elementary school is these murals that are hung up all over the school, this being one of them. And these murals have messages that give students, in my mind, inspiration and feeling like they can conquer the world. You can see it shows Chillicothe relative to the rest of the world, but it also brings it back to the fact that this is your home and this is where you belong, and you can go anywhere from here. This is in the library, this picture. This is in one of the offices that you see here. So it really gives students a sense that they belong in the school and they can do anything from there. This is the main entrance. As you walk into the elementary school, you can see the main office there on the left. And as you walk through the door, it opens up into the library that all the students share. There on the right is a little theater/TV area with stadium seating. And as you walk forward, it opens up into this really neat area for students to collaborate and explore and take risks. Here's that same room from a different angle. You can see on the right side and in front of you wall size marker boards, areas that students can collaborate and learn on their own. You see tables surrounding the area, as well as some flexible seating for students to get comfortable and explore on their own. This is the stadium seating I was talking about, where there's a TV area set up. And what's really neat about the school is there are several of these areas around the school. Again, just trying to inspire students to venture and learn on their own, and giving them a platform to be creative. Along with those theater areas, there's all these little nooks and crannies in the building and in the rooms for students to show their creativity. Here you can see kind of a prop set. They have little separate rooms, little containers for students to get inside and read quietly or maybe draw. They have an area set up for photography, which is really neat. And then they've got what are called these think tanks. And these show up in several parts of the school, in each wing. And teachers explained to me that they can take these, take students that are wanting to explore something, put them in a room with some other students and a guide, a teacher, and they can just dive into a concept and really figure out what makes it tick. With all the school has to offer in each separate wing for each grade, one of the teachers was gracious enough to let me interview them about what types of things the school as it stands has to offer different learners at different levels. So what are some of the strengths that the building offers to meet the needs of different learners?
Well, this building has a lot of different features that I've never seen in a school before. We have think tanks that are in between classrooms, and we have a hands-on work area. So we can send students over to the think tanks to work in groups. So maybe a reading group could go over there with a volunteer, or students who work better hands-on. There's an outside work area where there's a lot of makerspace tools and things like that. And also our goal with this building, with being down like one hallway for each grade level, is opportunity for movement. So we would like to eventually get to the point where if I have a student who has a certain need, and let's say another teacher is working on that or has a group of students who would challenge them, we have the opportunity for that movement between grade levels. And so I just think that makes it so that each student is reached in no matter their ways of learning or means of learning. So
cool, thank you. As we take a look at the classrooms themselves, you can see how open, how much space they have, the opportunity they provide for students to learn in different areas of the room, be creative, collaborate with one another, interact with the teacher as they would need to. And each classroom also provides a touchscreen projector that allows students to manipulate objects on the screen and really figure things out in a way that they might not be able to without that technology. And here you can see the gym to the elementary school, which all the students share. Even though it's a beautiful facility, it's actually been a kind of a source of weakness for the school in the new building. And Principal Abby Smith kind of explains that in this next interview. So with the new building, there's always some learning curve that goes with it.
Sure.
Are there any snags or hiccups that you've noticed so far?
Yes. When we built the new building, I think for budget purposes, they removed the cafeteria from the plan and said that we would just eat in the gym. So, though that's worked, because that's how we did it at Dewey, that's how they do it at Field. I mean, that's been a common thing here, but our gym is a Tyvek floor that's soft. And so if those tables stay on the floor so long, they begin to divot the floor. And so far, when you pick up the table, it within time bounces back. But we have to pick up and remove those tables every day, twice a day. So that's extra manpower so it pulls my custodians away from doing something else to have to do that. Also, it has, it's all little kids that are eating at those tables, and so there's things that are spilled all the time. So we are constantly cleaning up strawberry, stainable foods
Sure.
all over that floor. So I haven't really explored it closely, but I would say that we've probably already tore up the floor, I'm sure, with a stain or something,
Yeah.
just from the wear and tear of eating 2 meals in there.
Right.
I have 350 kids that eat 2 meals in there a day, so
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they're not going to be perfect. So that I would say would probably be our biggest flaw. Kind of another thing is just like the layout. I mean, we're all laid out. We have room to go, but they're little, so it takes them a long time to get from point A to point B. So the layout's great, and it'll be really great when the older kids come. But for all these little kids to get so far, because our cafeteria, where the kitchen is on the other side of the building.
So again, the purpose of this project was to see if the building as it stands lines up with the vision that the stakeholders had going into it. And 3 specific components I wanted to talk about, wanted to see if it included were a presence of technology within the school building, a safe and secure environment for students to come and learn, and third, if the student walks in the building, do they get an immediate sense of being welcomed and invited into a world where they can learn and grow at their maximum potential. And as I walked around with a superintendent mindset, evaluating this, I couldn't help but go back into parent mode. I have a 3-year-old little girl that's about to start school, and as I was evaluating as a superintendent, I couldn't help evaluate, would I want my daughter to go to this school based on those 3 key components in that vision? And with a resounding yes, I would absolutely want my daughter to go to school there. And I think that's the biggest evaluation that I can give. And if that's how I feel as a parent, then I think as a superintendent, we've successfully built a school that parents can be proud to send their children to.